Okay, guys. We're gonna try this again. My camera shut off, and I'm not quite sure how to fix it yet. So we will see what we can accomplish now. Alright. When you were here last, or when I shut it off initially, I just finished my starfish. And as you can see, I'm trying to work with this seashell and hopefully not making too big of a mess, because sometimes that's what happens, I guess. So what I've done is I have tried to outline and highlight a few little spots on this fossil just to make it look a little bit different. And again, I've done a little bit of design with the gold pearl on the inlay. And I'm trying to not allow too much of the mica get onto my mold, and I'm not having a very good time with this. That's okay. A little bit of a baby wipe, give it a swipe or two, and then we'll clean it up a little bit better when it's all said and done. So we'll just try to do the best we can as we go. Alright. So we'll move this right about there. I'll try to keep my wrist out of the way, but it's just in a weird position, so hopefully we can get this thing going here. I apologize for the interruption earlier. So, alright. Try to get as much detail around here as we can. And we'll see what happens. I'm sure this will be as much a surprise to me as it will be to everybody. I was talking about longer brushes earlier, and this is one of the reasons I like it. I can actually get away or get a little bit further from my piece. And I don't feel that, for the most part, while I'm working on what I'm doing, it's as disturbed as what it could be, I guess. So, alright. Just please forgive me for any arm motions that are in the way of the actual product here, because this is my first crafting video. And I am excited to share this with you guys. I'm excited to do this. I find resin and crochet both to be very mentally stimulating processes. It takes a lot of focus and sometimes more patience than even I can claim to have. So, you know what? We are not going to do that with that spot. I'm going to take this white, clean off this end. I did not want that there. A little spritz of alcohol, and we'll wipe that off. Okay, well, it's not perfect, but it'll be alright. Dry it off a little bit, just tap it down. We'll get the gold pearl back out. We will do the end of the set on the shell with this really pretty color. It's very creamy. And I think that'll make a very nice contrast overall because of the difference in the color. That's a real pretty pale shimmer. Okay, so while we're here, we'll just go ahead and add a couple extra lines of the highlighting color. That way it will have a very nice, what is the word I'm looking for? Just different texture to it, maybe. I'm not sure how to describe what I'm trying to say. Just a few spots here and there. And I'll get a little bit there. Again, sometimes I prefer the longer handle brushes because I don't feel like I'm getting in my way so much. There, that'll do it. Nice pretty little details. Just add a little extra pale shimmer overall. Alright, so my station's a little cluttered at the moment, so bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get organized. Right, so the rest of this I'm not too concerned about because, like I said, if you've been watching any other of the creators, the first color that you put down is not going to be affected by the additional colors that you use after. Apparently, I've got some static on. The only problem that I see with some of the micas in regards to dusting your molds and things like that is the overspraying from the powder. Just seems like it flies everywhere, but there's very few that I've used so far. Of course, most of mine are cheaper brands at the moment because I'm getting started into this. I've only been doing resin for 2 years, maybe. Most of my pieces early on were very unattractive in my opinion, but we all start out that way, I guess. And but it's a lot of fun. It takes your mind off of a lot of things that you may be dealing with, or gives you a new outlook on how you want things to progress for certain things, and it's just a lot of fun. It's very relaxing. So, at least it is for me. Alright, almost done with our fossil. And I may actually leave a little bit of the dark color around it. I haven't made up my mind. I'm thinking I might do a clear coat resin. I'm just not real sure if that's the way I want to go with this yet. It's kind of like Julie says on her videos, I don't know. I don't know. Originally, I had thought about doing a glitter. Like a clear with black glitter or a blue glitter. But I'm, at this point, just kind of leaning away from that. Alright, that one goes back up there. So, alright, make sure we're still recording. Okay, we're good. So, get our baby wipe, and I'll try to clean this up just a little bit. Just a wee bit. Sometimes these molds just don't, not these specific molds, but molds in general, don't want to release the color pigments from the mic is very easy. So I found you just kind of go back every now and then and just kind of play with it and let it do its thing, because, you know, it's going to do what it's going to do, and not a whole lot sometimes to really fix that problem until it's all said and done. Okay, that's better. Clean off a little bit more over here. And I think that's pretty much the only ones I want to do for now as far as cleanup. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our little brush. And see, the middle one, we are going to use the purple and the dark sugar for the center and the green for the leaves. So, Julie, if you watch this, hi. I don't know if some of this was supposed to be leaves or not. However, that's what we're going to do with it. So, and I know you're not going to mind, because we're always trying to think outside the box. And it's a lot of fun. And I think most of our creators out there with the resin and other platforms in regards to crafting and Cricut work, which I am definitely not a Cricut kind of person. I have not yet had any luck with those items. I'm still learning. So, and that's what it's about. You still continue to push yourself, still learn, and continue to play around and have fun, and just kind of go with it. Okay, I'm going to change to a different little brush. It's got a little wider bristle base on here. And see what we could pull off. Like I said, I'm pretty sure these were meant to actually be other petals. However, just to add a little pop of extra color, I think this green would make an excellent contrast to the purples and the blues, or the dark colors that might be sitting around the center of it. It would just kind of hopefully give it a new dimension. And we'll do this one here. I love the simplicity of the resin work, because you can start out, and it took me probably 10 minutes to figure out what mold I wanted to use, and another 15 or 20 to figure out if I wanted to add specific colors or anything, or to choose out which colors I might be wanting to use. So, can be a little intimidating if you let it. Alright, so I apologize if my hands are in the way, guys, because I am not quite set up. I just got my very first camera stand, so you guys are enjoying that for the first time with me today. Alright, we'll put the lid on that for the moment until we use it the next time. Let's see, I need, where did it go? Yeah, this will work. Just need to clean off my edges just a smidge over here. Awesome. Alright, next we will do, should we do a lighter purple in the middle or a different color? Interesting. See, it's always changing. You just never know what you're going to come up with. You know what? We'll do some of this. And we can reverse it for the other one. Maybe we'll make two of the same kind. We'll see. Alright, so this one is Baltic Jade Dark Rose. Again, I ordered these off of Amazon. They weren't overly pricey, which was nice. So all I'm doing with this is just to add a splash of color right in the middle of each of the petals. Just to kind of offset and give it a different kind of dimension in the middle of it. Because we're going to have that real pretty dark sugar in the center. Trying to blend that out a little bit. And so just enough to give it a little hint of a contrast when you put that darker purple in there. I'm getting excited to see what this is going to look like. We will do that with the larger one. Just use a different shade of pink in the center. You know, different color or lighter shade of purple or something. I don't know yet. Okay. So now we'll set that one aside over here. Put that one there. We'll use the purple next because I don't want to have that being overshadowed by the darker brown center that we're going to do. Now again, it's going to cover up the pink for now. However, when it comes out of the mold later on today, hoping it's later on today, my personal office that I'm using for this is it's rather chilly today. It is a cold and rainy day outside. It's cold to me. It is approximately 65 degrees outside, I believe. And it's been raining since yesterday, so. And that's in Fahrenheit for those who may tune in from overseas. I'm not much on my conversions for that kind of thing. I apologize. But, alright, we're almost done with this little flower. I can't wait to see what this one turns out to look like. This is going to be so pretty. Guys, just bear with me. This video is going to be pretty long until I can learn how to edit and cut and paste and all the ins and outs of videography. I think that's the word. But, alright, I'll turn this around. So for anybody who is watching or tunes in and actually watches this video, if you want to, drop me a comment below and let me know where out in the world you are. You don't have to give an exact address. I'm curious who all's going to actually watch this. So give me a shout, let me know if you're in the U.S., if you're on the East Coast, Midwest, if you are overseas. I'm interested in finding out how far any of these videos are going to actually go. And for those who have resin channels, if you guys could send me a message and help me figure out how to do a better job on editing, I would really appreciate it, because this is brand new to me and I'm already just a little frustrated. Alright, so I'm going to call that flower done. And I think I'm going to use a different pink and different color for the other one when we do the big flower, because that's really pretty. But maybe we'll do blue. Oops, that goes with that one. And I put that on the wrong one. Okay, don't get my lids mixed up. There we go. Alright, I might use that one again, I don't know yet. Okay, so now we're just going to go in and use that real pretty dark brown or dark sugar color. It's very shimmery. I love all these. I mean, these might not be the higher priced mica powders, but I've done quite a few different pieces with them, and they are super pretty. Get that cleaned up a little bit. Cleanup's always the toughest part, because then you got some of these smaller nooks and crannies and they just don't seem to want to cooperate sometimes. Alright, we're going to go with it. Okay, for my seashell, we are going to use the Maya Blue. It is very, very shimmery. Super pretty. It's almost a sky blue. However, we are also going to use a violet pearl. This was not planned. This one I just decided just now. And it, oops, sorry. You can see, find out where I'm at here. It actually looks white in the jar, but it has a violet shimmer. So it's almost like a true chameleon type of powder. Right, let's get you situated back to where the camera was supposed to be. Alright, now zoom you in just a smidge. Alright, so for the violet pearl, I'm going to stick that down just kind of like we did on the fossil. I'm going to add those little shimmery highlights. And what this will do is this one actually picks up that purple tone. And it is just Julie said it once, and I've heard a couple other creators comment how they wish that they could just order their favorite colors instead of having to reorder a huge amount of different ones all at one time, because it just seems like it's so hard to not use your favorite ones all the time, knowing that you've only got a certain amount that you can use without ordering more of everything. So if anyone knows how to do that, how to find your favorite color and order it, whether it's Amazon or eBay or whatever, and can give me that information, I would really appreciate that, because it's super frustrating for so many different artists. Alright, so we'll do this last. little bit down here. And I haven't made up my mind, but I may do more of a, I might do some of that on this entire section, but I don't know yet. I may just go with the blue and be done with it. That way I can get this taken care of and get it finished. So again, all I'm doing with this is I'm trying to add some highlights. And what I could have done is use the blue for the highlight and then use this as the main color. And I may do that on the next one. I don't know yet. So, and again, I apologize for my hands being in the way. Just it seems like it helps to actually lift this up a little bit while I'm trying to put these colors on here so I can, because some of them are so pale that depending on the angle of the light, it's very difficult to really see if you're actually hitting the right spot. If, see right there, I didn't even get that right spot. So we will try that again, right there. Again, that's why I've named my channel Perfect Imperfections, because nothing is perfect. And as hard as you try, sometimes things just end up a little different than what you want them to be. Alright, I'll add a little bit more of the white or the violet. Just add a little more definition down through the centers. Now, I will tell you that I get some of my molds from Hobby Lobby here in West Virginia. As I stated, it's going to be a two-part video because the one I had to stop working on the video, so, and I haven't figured out how to edit and cut and things so far. Right. But I stated earlier that sometimes I've ordered quite a few molds from Julie from Pouring Your Heart Out. So hopefully, alright, I'm hoping you guys can see the shimmer of those little lines that I just added on there. So I'll put that on the side for now. And now I'm going to go in with my blue. And see what we can figure out. So we'll start from the outside edge and work inwards. Maybe that'll help prevent as much of that color spray. Please, like I said, guys, everybody who has or has tried new ways to prevent the overspray of the mica powder from getting all over your molds as you're working with them, if you have any suggestions or anything that you've done that has helped you, comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on what makes it easier for you to help out. The creators on this app for YouTube are pretty phenomenal. And every time I've posted or asked questions, most of you have responded very positively. And it just makes people want to keep trying and keep, attempting to do new things. And that is That is really awesome. I absolutely love this shade of blue. It is so pretty. Yeah, I think we're just going to keep this one very simple. I was going to add another color on the blue spectrum, maybe aquamarine, but I'm going to leave it with just this and the violet highlights. I don't want to try and overthink too many things, which I have a tendency to do. I get a little bit scattered in my thought processes sometimes, and it's frustrating. But hopefully I'm not the only person that does that too. Alright, and now we're filling the rest of it. And I will get the flower done. And then we will, I think I am going to stick with a clear overcoat. Make this a little bit more of a translucent appearance and get a better idea how the mica worked on this particular mold, which I'm sure is going to be amazing because, like I said, Julie does an outstanding job on her stuff. Okay, making sure we've got all that in there. And alright, so there's that. So we are done with the blue. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do a top coat on here or not. I really haven't made it that far. So this was a Maya blue, so that goes up there. Okay. So as you can see, you can't really tell that the purple is even in there now. That's okay. Alright. Got a little overspray in spots. Don't know where that came from, so we'll get that cleaned up real quick. Alright. I apologize for the long pauses in conversation and the background noise outside my office, but yeah, it's part of life, I guess. Okay, so we'll go back in with the green on the leaves. And what brush do I want to use? That might work. Let me check and see if I got the good angle in here. Alright, so on this particular section, we've got this right here. And you got a little here, here. We're going to turn those into leaves instead of petals. Kind of like we did with that little one. And put that over there. Come in from the outer edge. I could actually use those as regular petals, and it would still be just as pretty. Like I said, I want to give it a different appearance. I don't want it to be just another flower with a bunch of little petals on there. I'd like to have a little pop of just a little variation here and there, and just something a little extra special. So we will use a couple of the outer edge petals as leaves. And I know that's going to be really pretty. But you can't go wrong with a little bit of green, even though there's some people who don't like green. I've not fathomed why, but that's okay. To each their own. And again, I am so sorry for my arm getting in the way as often as it is. I'm going to do this one as a leaf. My workstation is unfortunately not set up to where I can be on one side of the table and film from the opposite at this time. But, oh, that's going to be nice. Awesome. All right, so we're done with the green. Guys, I appreciate you taking so much time and watching this. I know it's probably boring seeing me dust all these, so I apologize. There you go. I'm not going to use this one. So, those lids don't go in there right. There we go. Alright, so we will use, let me think. You know, we're going to go in with a bronze center and see how that turns out. Or not a center, but the center of the petals. Just to kind of play with it a little bit. If I don't like it, I can pause the video and start fresh, because I can always wipe this down and redo it. Like I said, I'm not going for perfection, because last I checked, nobody was a perfect person. So we will go with that. I think that this will make a fairly pretty transition from the center with the dark sugar that I'm going to use. Excuse me. And give that pink really, really nice background color. Alright, so we'll put that one away. And that'll go back up there. A little bit of spray over a couple spots. We'll get that cleaned up real quick. It's not quite where I wanted it. Okay. So, now we're going to go in with the dark rose. Oops. Try to get this in here. There we go. The dark rose. And get this colored in, and then we'll get ready to work on mixing up the resin. I'm hoping that I can get a good enough saturation on the edges for the pink to where it's not going to be overly, or not overly, but the other colors aren't going to overpopulate or overpower the pink for the most part. So we'll see. You never know how that's going to turn out. This resin is a finicky thing sometimes. Some of the other creators that I like, other than Pouring Your Heart Out, is Wendy at Toonpish. She has come up with some really beautiful pieces recently. Pole Barn Products, I think is the name of the one. But he's more into like the larger pieces where, you know, you can use a lathe and spin out with a lathe knife or a lathe blade, and, you know, you incorporate wood and things like that. And I don't know that I want to get into all that, but I love to watch his pieces turn out. The ones where they mail something to each other, you know, him and a friend of his, somewhere, you know, they will send pieces back and forth. Hey, you know, can you do anything with this? Here's what I was trying to do. And then they give their own little spin, so to speak, no pun intended, guys, with the lathe work, or, you know, whatever they're choosing to do with those pieces. And it's fascinating how all that stuff turns out so pretty. And sometimes it doesn't work. You know, it's kind of a flip of a coin some days, I guess. I think it's Pole Barn Crafts or Pole Barn Productions, or I'm not real sure. But look them up, see if you can find them. I'll try to tag a few of these people if I can figure out how to do that as well. Because, like I said, I'm still learning. This is all pretty new, especially the videography part of it, because I can take still pictures all day long, but to sit and talk to myself in front of a camera, it's a little weird. And again, I apologize for the noises in the background. It's my grandson getting on to the dogs for misbehaving with each other. We have a 3-month-old pup who's in training. And, well, if anybody's raised puppies before, you know. You just know. Alright, guys, we're almost done with this. So, let's see here. Let me stick enough on that one. Get these taken care of. And I'll pause while I get the resin mixed together. And then we'll give it a pour. And I'll probably will have to wait until tomorrow to unmold. Like I said, my studio, office, whatever you want to call it, my craft room, it's fairly cool today, so I'm sure that's going to affect the cure time. As of right now, I do not have a curing machine or, you know, anything to debubble. But I may invest in one of those later down the road. Alright, guys. Now we got one more spot. And the flour is done. Excuse me. Alright, break out our dark sugar. And put that in the center. All right. Give me about 3 or so minutes. And we will go from there. Be back in just a minute, guys.